Hello ladies, gents, and everyones. It is Thursday, March 31st, and we're here to talk about this week's space and astronomy news. We're all really excited to get back those samples that Perseverance is collecting right now over on Mars. They've done 10 so far. The Mars Sample Return Mission is a planned joint effort between ESA and NASA to retrieve the samples from the Martian surface, launch them into Martian orbit, then bring them back to Earth orbit, and then bring them back to Earth. Well, last week at Space Science Week 2022, the NASA Associate Administrator for the Science Mission Directorate revealed that that mission has undergone a few changes in the planning. Don't worry, it is still supposed to happen, but now it's being slightly delayed, and so they're expecting the launch in 2028. And what was previously conceived as a single sample retriever lander is now going to be 2 landers. One lander will carry the rover that will actually go and get the samples from Perseverance, which might be immobile by then. And the other lander will carry the robotic arm that will actually transfer the samples and the Mars Ascent Vehicle, or MAV, which will actually launch the samples back up into Martian orbit. These changes are in response to recommendations from an independent review board in order to reduce risk and hopefully ensure that this mission goes off successfully. It has been very exciting to see the US return to making crewed launches from our own spacecraft, but it is time to say goodbye to Crew Dragon. Okay, not a final goodbye, but production of the capsules has been ended by SpaceX. Because the capsules can be refurbished and reused, SpaceX thinks they have enough on hand to meet all of their launch requirements until their next generation Starship is ready to go. There are currently 4 Dragon capsules in SpaceX's fleet: Endeavour, Resilience, Endurance, and the recently named Freedom, which will be inaugurated in the upcoming Crew 4 mission. Now, SpaceX could start production up again if they decide it's needed, but this move signals their confidence in their planned shift to Starship. While we've all been busy fangirling over the James Webb Space Telescope, but I mean, seriously, come on. Like, this is my favorite galaxy in the calibration image. It's just so, it's so cute. But anyway, the Hubble Space Telescope wanted us to know it's still out there working hard. NASA announced yesterday that Hubble has spotted the most distant star ever seen. This star is 12.9 billion light years away, beating out the previous record holder by a good almost 4 billion light years. At these kind of distances, astronomers are lucky to see anything smaller than a galaxy. But thanks to some fortuitous gravitational lensing, they were actually able to single out a specific star. The star has been nicknamed Earendel, which means morning star in Old English, although you probably recognize it from Tolkien's Eärendil, where it refers to a half-elf that carried the morning star Silmaril, although fun fact, in Quenya it actually means lover of the sea. Now, because it took so long for this light to reach us, this is actually an opportunity to look back at a star in the very, very early universe. This could shed some light on stellar formation and the chemical evolution of the universe. Very exciting news, and this star is going to make an awesome target for James Webb. Expedition 66 has come to a close on the International Space Station as 3 astronauts departed yesterday on board the Soyuz MS-19 capsule. One was NASA astronaut Wanda Hai, who now holds the US spaceflight record for the longest single-duration spaceflight at 355 days. The worldwide record is actually held by a Russian cosmonaut who spent 437 days on the Mir space station back in the 90s. The 3 astronauts landed in Kazakhstan yesterday, and Hai will be returning to the US via Germany while the 2 cosmonauts are returning to Russia. This means it is now Expedition 67 on the ISS, and the current station commander is NASA astronaut Tom Marshburn. He's joined by 2 other NASA astronauts, an ESA astronaut, and 3 Russian cosmonauts. The sun let out a big burst yesterday with an X-class solar flare, which is the most intense class of solar flare. The flare was an X1 flare with an associated strong HF radio blackout here on Earth. I suppose this isn't the most newsworthy event, as the sun actually flares pretty frequently, although the stronger the flare is, the less frequent that type of flare. X1 type flares occur on average every 3 weeks or so, but that frequency changes a lot over the 11-year solar activity cycle. But because NASA constantly monitors the sun with its Solar Dynamics Observatory, we got this amazing X-ray video of the flare actually happening, and I just wanted to share it with you all because it is so cool. And now you can geek out with me. If you've been a galactite for a while, you know about the Event Horizon Telescope, which achieved insane levels of resolution to directly image the event horizon of a black hole back in 2019. And then that same black hole in polarized light in 2021. But it's not just pretty to look at, scientists are using this data to learn more about black holes and the universe. A study published last week in Nature Astronomy looked for signs of axions in the polarized radiation from M87. Axions are a theoretical type of particle that have been proposed as a promising candidate to explain dark matter. So a cloud of axion particles near the event horizon of M87 would lead to oscillations in that polarized radiation. And in this study, they found no signs of those oscillations, allowing them to place constraints on the possible properties of the axion particle. Their constraint is shown here in green, and you can see that it is actually more stringent than some of the previous constraints. While it would be really awesome to actually see signs of axions and to know what dark matter is, for now this is really important progress to help us narrow the possible parameters and know where to look next. Plus, image of an event horizon. Still freaking insane. Well, that's all I have for you this week. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a good one. I'll see you again next week. Bye!